I'm Reverend Marjorie Contenti. Welcome to the Calgary Centre for Spiritual Living. This is a time we set aside for ourselves to meditate, to just relax, to release, to get ourselves into that spiritual state where we know that all is well. So I will talk for a couple of minutes. I will leave you in silence, and then my voice will come back on, and I will close our time of meditation. So take a nice full breath and release that breath in your own rhythm. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable to do that. Make your body comfortable. You may be sitting, you may be reclining. You want to be in a position where you are comfortable and that sitting or how you're situated doesn't get in your way. Taking another nice full breath, breathing in right down into the abdomen and then releasing. Not forcing the breath, but breathing fully. Breathing in and breathing out. Take another breath in your own perfect rhythm. And as you breathe consciously like this, draw in a nice full breath, and on the exhalations, breathe out anything you brought in with you this morning, any thoughts you've been thinking, any worries you may have, any cares. Breathe in, and on the exhalation, breathe out everything that is beyond just this moment. Breathing in and breathing out. And on your next out breath, relax your body a little. So breathing in and then feeling relaxation start from the crown of your head. And on the out breath, let it flow down over your face, into your neck, and to your shoulders. And as you do this, you may notice your shoulders drop just slightly. Just letting any tension you may not even be aware you were holding, and just letting it release. Breathing in, and on your next out breath, relaxing your upper body, allowing yourself to be supported by the chair or whatever you're sitting on. Just allow your upper body to relax, to release. And on your next out breath, starting from the lower abdomen, feeling your lower body relax. Those big muscles in the legs, the quad muscles. Feeling your knees soften. Relaxing the lower body. And be aware of your hands resting lightly and your feet in a comfortable position or resting lightly on the floor. Breathing in and breathing out. Know that this time you give yourself to relax, to just be, is a gift, a decision you have made to bring yourself to this place of communion, of listening, of being your own divine self. Breathing in and breathing out. And from this relaxed state, we will move into silence. And if you feel that you're not perfectly relaxed, or perhaps you still have some thoughts in your head, that's okay. That's just fine. We're not looking for perfection here. We are looking for some calm, some peace, some inner connection. So accepting whatever happens during this meditation. If you have thoughts, don't resist them. If you hear sounds, don't resist them. Allow them just to drift on through, not capturing your attention. Breathing in and breathing out. If you do become distracted, drawing your attention back to that breath. And now just releasing, relaxing, being, until you hear again the sound of my voice. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. As we bring ourselves back from meditation, from wherever it has taken us, let us do so, remembering that there is this life that sustains us. Just as our breath is an unconscious, for the most part, action that allows us to live and move and breathe and have our being as beings of love and light and peace and power. Breathing in and breathing out and remembering that life can be this simple, that sustaining ourselves is easier than we might think. That this simple act of the breath and this conscious and simple act of taking a few moments for meditation feed our souls, feed our awareness that we are so much greater than the daily actions and the physical bodies that we are in. Truly we are magnificent spiritual beings, having this human experience for the joy of it. Breathing in and breathing out and bringing yourself more fully back into your body. And as we complete the meditation this morning, if you had an experience that felt meditative to you, that was calm and that was quiet, and your mind was quiet, that's wonderful. Give yourself a pat on the back. And if your experience was not quite as satisfying, perhaps you were distracted, perhaps you're new to this and you're wondering, is that all this is about? Give yourself a pat on the back. Know that this gift of time that you have given yourself reaps the benefit. So release any judgment about how this meditation was for you, and know that you have experienced the divine presence, and that it is beating your heart and calming your mind moment by moment. So taking another full breath and releasing it, becoming aware of fingers and toes. You may want to shrug your shoulders gently. Perhaps tilt your head just a little bit to the side and to the front. Just becoming fully aware that you are in this incredible physical body, and that you have everything you need within you right now to live the life of joy and meaning that you choose. Thank you for joining us this morning, and have a wonderful service later on. Namaste.
to go? Well, I woke up this morning with my mind set on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind set on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind set on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Well, I woke up this morning with my mind set on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind set on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind set on spirit. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Don't you know that I'm walking and talking with my mind set on spirit? I'm walking and talking with my mind set on spirit. I'm walking and talking with my mind set on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Don't you know that I'm singing and praying with my mind set on spirit? I'm singing and praying with my mind set on spirit. I'm singing and praying with my mind set on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, I'm teaching and preaching with my mind set on spirit. I'm teaching and preaching with my mind set on spirit. I'm teaching and preaching with my mind set on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Don't you know there ain't no harm keeping your mind set on spirit? There ain't no harm, keep your mind set on spirit. There ain't no harm to keep your mind set on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. 'Cause I tell ya, I woke up this morning with my mind set on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind set on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind set on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I sing hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. One more time, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Yeah. Woohoo! What a way to start the morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome
to the love stream. We call it our love stream of the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living. If you are new to our center, I'll introduce myself. I'm Pat Campbell, and I'm the spiritual director of the center. And if you are new to our teaching called The Science of Mind, we are a faith tradition that honors all faith traditions. We honor all paths to the divine. We understand that there are 8 billion people on this planet. That's 8 billion sparks of the divine wanting and needing and desiring to be expressed. So there can't be just one way to believe, one way to be. So whoever you are, however you got here, and whatever it is that you believe, we honor you. We may not practice the same thing, but we honor your right to practice it. So, very pleased that you're here this morning. A couple of weeks ago, with all of the mandates going on about masking and not masking, we made the executive decision to go back to our strictly our love stream, our live stream on Facebook and YouTube and on our website, so that we didn't have to worry about the musicians wearing masks and me wearing a mask and all that other kind of stuff when we had an audience. And so we are strictly live stream, and we're hoping that won't be forever. We're really hoping it won't be for long, but it is what it is for now. And so thank you for joining us on the live stream, and I hope you're enjoying your coffee. So we're going to start out by singing what we call our Kong song. If you're at home, you can stand up. And this is a song that Amy and Gary Lynn Floyd wrote, right? Yes. So you're going to know it. You're going to figure it out in no time. So let's sing that together.
Gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. Gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. Leave behind what's weighing me down, wash away what's holding me back. My heart is falling, face forward, feet on the ground, living in this courage I've found. The sky is calling, gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. Gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. Leave behind what's weighing me down, wash away what's holding me back. My heart is falling, face forward, feet on the ground, living in this courage I've found. The sky is calling, gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. Gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. 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 One step at a time.
that song. Awesome. So let me tell you what's going on here at the center. Even though it feels like we've maybe taken a slight step back, we still have things that are going on because we are an active, full-service spiritual center. So the first thing I want to let you know about is I will be teaching our Foundations class starting on October 12th. Foundations is our basic course. And by that, I mean we will teach you, I'll never tell you what to think, but I will teach you how to think, utilizing the principles of our teaching called the Science of Mind. And so this is our basic class. It's very interactive. It's very interesting, and it's super fun. And you obtain tools that will change your life, guaranteed. And so we are going to be doing it via Zoom, which will be a new experience. I haven't taught this course via Zoom, but I'm sure that it's going to be absolutely fine. And it starts on October 12th. It's a 10-week course and a one Saturday workshop. So it goes until December 14th, 6:30 to 9:30 on Zoom on Tuesdays. The cost of the course, the cost that our organization puts on it is $295. That includes $45 for registration to our parent organization. However, the board and I feel it is so important that people get this teaching so that they can use it in their lives. We are offering subsidies. For those of you who $295 seems like it's kind of a chunk. If you can pay that, then by all means do. If you need a subsidy, if you need a little help with that, you need to send me an email at drpat@calgarycsl.org. and just say, hey, what's this about subsidies? And we'll kind of talk about it and figure out what's going to work best for you and for the center. And don't be shy about it. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to ask. You know what? Here's a clue. The answer is yes. It's not like you have to qualify for it. The answer is yes, but you got to talk to me. So please send me an email. Let me know about that. And then if you are registering, you can send an e-transfer to Kat at office@calgarycsl.org, and just make sure you put Foundations in the memo line and also your email address. And we also have another course. This is for our single people. I know we have a few. It's called Calling in the One. It's based on a wonderful book by Catherine Woodward. What is her last name? Catherine Woodward Thomas. And it is our teaching, but in a way that, so I want to be very clear. This isn't how to catch a man or how to catch a woman or anything like this. What it's about is developing the consciousness so that you are attracting the one. So it's all personal work. It is deep, it is profound, and it is effective. I know a number of people who have found their one by doing the work in this. So that is on Wednesday, starting Wednesday, October 13th through November 24th, 6:30 to 8:30, again on Zoom. The course fee is $105, plus you need to order the book. There are two versions. You want to order the most recent version of it. And again, register by sending an e-transfer to office@calgarycsl.org. Put the one in the memo. Make sure you include your email address. And Reverend Leslie says to make sure that you read week 1 before the first meeting. And you're just going to love it. It's really, really interesting and deep, deep work. Even if you're not looking for the one and you want to do that deep work to bring more love of all kinds into your life, it would be appropriate for you to take the course. Okay, so our ongoing groups, again, everything's been moved back to being on Zoom for the time being. So our consciousness seekers, our granddaddy discussion group starts again on September 27th. This is facilitated by Ron Hahn. This group has been going for years and years and years, but it's a wonderful way of being in a sense of community and talking about spiritual stuff. So that starts on next Monday, not tomorrow, but the following Monday at 7 o'clock. Coffee with Dr. Pat, that's me. That's every Wednesday from noon to about 1:30. The Thursday meditation is starting up again, and that's on Thursdays from 7 to 7:45, led by a minister or practitioner. Our saging circle is Saturdays from 10 to noon. That's facilitated by Sandra Butler and Neil Butler. Wonderful. Anybody who... What did Sandra say she wanted me to say? I can't remember what it was. It was something like young at heart. But generally, it's for our elders. It's for our wisdom keepers. So if you're 20 and wise, as opposed to just being a wiseacre, then you are more than welcome to join the group as well. And all of the information, the Zoom codes, everything is on the website and also in our newsletter. So lots of stuff going on to keep our community communing with one another. What we're going to do now is have our sacred time. Thank you. I'm going to invite Reverend Marjorie Contenti up. She's going to give us our spiritual mind treatment, and Amy is going to lead us in a chant prior to that. So I invite you to just put aside, now we've done all the business part, now we're just going to go within.
If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. The voice of God, the voice of God, you might hear the voice of God.
In the quiet, I remember and I declare that there is this one life, a spiritual life force. We may call it God or Spirit, the divine presence. And by any name, we know it as the power of love, and we know it as divine order. So I celebrate that this universe is one of an energy of love that brings harmony and brings life together. And it is an energy of divine order, so that life is unfolding in beautiful patterns on patterns on patterns. And I know that I am an integral part of this unfoldment of life. And I speak in the first person as I speak for all of us, knowing that each one is a unique and perfect expression of the one divine power. So I know that I'm the power of love, that I have a reservoir of love inside of me that can never be depleted, that always in every moment I have the power of compassion, the power of connection, the power of peace and love, and I bring that into all of my relationships, my family and intimate relationships, and into my work relationships, and into moments that I spend with someone in a store or a restaurant. I am the love of Spirit. I know myself as the health and vitality of Spirit. I am filled with energy, and every cell in my body knows itself as the divine, and it knows how to heal and how to work in harmony with every other part of me. So mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, I am whole, complete, and perfect now. I know myself as the power of abundance and prosperity. I know that I give into the world the best of me, and I open myself to receiving the gifts of the universe that are showered on me in every moment. Everything I should ever want or need is given to me now. All the money, all the circumstances that feed my soul, all of the love, everything that looks like prosperity to me comes to me now. And I know myself as the creative intelligence of Spirit. I bring it to my work and to my play. I am a creative and clever being, and I use the intelligence that is me in ways that benefit me and others. Knowing myself as all of this, knowing that I am intimately supplied in every moment, knowing that I am a magnificent spiritual being having this human experience, I give thanks. I give thanks for all of the gifts in my life, for the action of Spirit as me and as all others, for the action of the divine in my life as it unfolds as a blessing to all and to myself. So in profound gratitude, I release this word into that creative aspect of Spirit that makes it so now. Please join me in declaring, and so it is.
If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. The voice of God, the voice of God. You might hear the voice of God. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God.
Thank you, Reverend Marjorie, for that beautiful treatment. And to Amy and Lisa and Oliver, that lovely chant. So something we do every Sunday, whether we're in person or whether we're online, is to repeat together as a congregation, as a community, our vision and mission statements because it keeps solidified who we are and the work that we are doing here in the world. So let's say this together. The Calgary Center for Spiritual Living is a beacon of spiritual illumination that inspires individuals to reveal their wholeness, co-creating a world that works for everyone. And how we do it is partially through our mission, so let's say that together. The Calgary Center for Spiritual Living makes accessible a way of living and thinking that reveals one's spiritual magnificence and personal power. We co-create an inclusive community that fosters an expansion of consciousness, inclusivity. We are an inclusive community, and you are welcome here. So we're having really excellent music today. My goodness, this is not like an unusual thing. This is our music. It's always this good, but they're particularly good today. So please welcome to the stage Elevation featuring Amy Bishop.
Close my eyes and I can see world that's waiting up for me that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, and it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams, it's all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things that I compile, each one there to make you smile. A rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our mind. I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. Think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, brightest colors fill my head, a million dreams keeping me awake. What the world would be, the vision of the one I see, a million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.
Bishop, Oliver Miguel, Luis Tovar, Lisa Jacobs. Elevation. Yeah. I think I'm going to stay off here, and if you can bring that. We're trying to do things the right way. Thank you, darling. There we go. Yep, it's perfect. Thank you. Are you still applauding in your houses for our amazing musicians? Okay. Would you breathe with me, please? Take in a deep breath and release. And again at your own pace. And one more time, please, take it in. One of my favorite parts of the morning is when we breathe together. So thank you all so much for doing that with me. So there is a particular blessing/curse, and it's attributed to an ancient Chinese proverb, but I suspect it's actually not. But I'm gonna tell it as if it is. I've shared it with you before, probably more than once, but it just bears repeating, in particular right now. And that is, may you live in interesting times. So it's a blessing because who doesn't want to live an interesting and inspired life? But it could also be a curse because sometimes interesting isn't necessarily fun. Would you agree with me? Yeah. So all of that to say that it's been an interesting couple of weeks in the midst of an interesting couple of years. Yes? Nod your heads if you're agreeing with me. Of course, whether this all turns out to be a blessing or a curse remains to be seen, but either way, if we're paying attention, we're learning from it, and we're growing from it. So I guess ultimately it qualifies as a blessing, even if it doesn't quite feel like one at the time. So here's the reason why I wanted to bring this up, and I wanted to talk about it. So, this is a personal story. I am generally a pretty healthy person. Yeah, I've got a few little extra pounds, yeah, and I occasionally have a little ache or pain or something like that, but generally, I'm pretty darn healthy. And what happens, though, is that sometimes I experience what is called seasonal allergies, especially since I moved here to Alberta. I'm from Southern California, so, I had 50-something years of pollen and everything there, and I moved up here, and it's completely different pollen. And so it's not unusual for me to wake up with the sniffles or maybe a little bit of a sore throat. I don't normally think anything about it. It's not that big a deal. I just go on about my day, and I know that it's going to clear up once I'm up and kind of moving around. So that's what happened for me a few weeks ago. The weather had started to turn, as it has, and I woke up one morning and I had just a little bit of a sore throat, and I had some heaviness in my chest. And again, not that unusual. I'm pretty used to it. And I had a really busy day that day. I had meetings I had to go to. I had a hair appointment. I had some other errands I had to run. So I didn't think anything about it until 2 days later, when I got an early morning text, never a good sign, an early morning text from my hairstylist, who I had just seen a couple of days before that, saying that she had tested positive for COVID. Now, she's young, she's healthy, so all she was experiencing was a little bit of a stuffed up nose, but she wanted me to know that she had received this positive test in case I wanted to get tested. So all I can tell you is that through the power of suggestion, and that's the name of my talk today, I went from, la-di-da, I have the sniffles from seasonal allergies, to, oh my God, I have full-blown COVID, and I'm going to have to cancel my trip in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to have to isolate, and what am I going to do about the center? And it happened like this. And then what's even more interesting is that as soon as I got that text and it sunk in, my throat got more sore. And I started sneezing. And my head ached. And I was sure my fever was spiking. And I was out of breath. All of that in the blink of an eye, based on a text. So, of course, I made an appointment to go get tested that afternoon, and I dragged my sick, I'm so sick, to the drive-through place and got probed. I came home, and I started making contingency plans for the center for Annie, my dog, for my upcoming trip. Because the COVID protocol is, if you admit to having symptoms, then you have to isolate until you get your test results. And if the test result is positive, you have to then isolate for 10 days. Now, before I go on with the story, I want to pause for just a moment, and I want to acknowledge that this story may be a trigger for some people on all sides of the issue. So please know that I'm not making any sort of a statement about the validity or the effectiveness or anything. I'm just telling a story, okay? So if you're getting a little hot under the collar, just breathe, okay. So all of this took place on a Thursday 2 weeks ago, and I expected to get my results in 24 hours, and they didn't come within 24 hours. And because the symptoms that I said had gotten much worse once I got the text, actually they hadn't progressed at all. And so I really, really didn't think that I had COVID, but I didn't know for sure. And the wait time was excruciating, as I'm sure many of you can relate to. And to add to it, because Sunday was rapidly approaching, this was Thursday, I had to decide whether or not to get a guest speaker. And I was bummed because I had this super fun topic that I wanted to explore. So I decided to ask Reverend Monica to step in either way, regardless of what the results of the test was. And if you were here last week, you know she did a great job of filling in. I am so blessed by the fact that we have excellent, excellent people here in this center that can step in for me when necessary. So now, fast forward a week, and here I am, I'm giving this talk. So obviously, my test result came back negative. Can I get an amen? Yes. Some people said to me, it's probably the first time in my life I was actually grateful for negativity. However, here's what's super interesting, is that as soon as I got the test results, I immediately felt better. She had a little bit of a sniffle, still a little bit of a sore throat. But because I knew what I knew, which is what I know, is that sometimes I have seasonal allergies, I knew that it wasn't anything, and I knew it because I knew it and hadn't forgotten it. That made sense to me. I'm not sure if it made sense to you. So the reason that I wanted to tell this story was to show how incredibly effective the power of suggestion is. How someone like me, who lives and breathes this stuff to the best of my ability, can still get caught up in the suggestions of other people and of other situations. It reminded me of how important it is to keep my thoughts, to keep my words, to keep my deeds, as Amy sang about earlier, stayed on spirit. Dr. Holmes had something to say about that. He said, spiritual mindedness is a persistent and consistent attempt to feel the divine everywhere and in all things. Persistent and consistent. To feel the divine in everything. And here's the truth. I'm telling it to you as I experienced it. I have been more human-minded than spiritual-minded lately. In other words, I've let the world of effect get to me. I've allowed myself to get nervous about the virus and about traveling and all that other stuff. And I continue to be deeply troubled by the energy of discontent and anger and blame and judgment on all sides. So instead of being spiritual minded in a persistent and consistent way, I let my guard down and allowed that lower vibe energy in that is so pervasive. In fact, I found this on Facebook. I just thought it was great. Thou shalt not let low vibe and sketchy ass energy penetrate thy aura. Well, I let some low vibe and sketchy ass energy penetrate my aura. However, there's actually good news to share. And that is that every moment of every day, we have a new opportunity to choose another way to think and act and respond and to be. Just as easily as I went from, oh, I have COVID, to I have allergies, to, oh my God, I have COVID, we can use ourselves the power of suggestion to suggest something else. And the remarkable thing is that our subconscious minds, that part of us that responds to whatever we put into it, simply accepts what it's told. It doesn't stop and say, well, now wait a minute here. We were freaking out just a minute ago, and now you want to be all positive and affirming and all that? What's that? No, the subconscious mind says, oh, okay, I guess we're creating that now instead. Ernest Holmes said this: we are surrounded by a subjective creative consciousness, which is the receptive, neutral, impersonal, always receiving the impress of our thought, and which has no alternative other than to operate directly upon it, thus creating the things which we think. And it can happen in a second. And because it's impartial, because it is impersonal, it is going to accept and it's going to produce what we suggest, or if we are not careful, it's going to produce what the outside world suggests. So, of course, we have a lot of tools that we have in this to help us stay on spirit, keep our mind stayed on spirit when we remember to do them. But the challenge is we don't always remember to use our tools, especially in the midst of whatever, right? But because we do have tools and we have used them and we learn them in foundations class and other things, and so we have these tools, we come to find that life just simply goes better when we do the things we know we're supposed to do. Yes? Few people in the audience? Yes. So some of those tools include, of course, spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer, meditation, reading inspiring things, attending our love stream on a regular basis. You gotta feel good after these things are done. You've gotta feel good. Spending time with positive people, coming to our groups during the week, doing conscious movement like yoga and Tai Chi, breathing. Take a breath. Spending time in nature, laughing. You got to try laughter yoga, I'm telling you. Taking classes, these are the tools. Practicing gratitude. I know you have your own. In fact, I was going to ask you, because you may not know it, but we spend, individually, we all go through the love stream and the comments of the love stream. That's my Sunday afternoon entertainment. So tell me some of the ways that you remind yourself, that you practice, of the tools. Put it in the chat. Let me take a look at them. Because I know that there's one that I didn't mention in that list, and yet it is one of the easiest and most effective tools that I know of, and that is doing affirmations. Raise your hand if you do affirmations. Yeah. Affirmations, they're so simple. They're easy. They are statements of truth that are kind of like using the power of suggestion in a directed and positive way. And again, our subconscious mind doesn't argue and it doesn't choose anything like that. It just produces what it is that we tell it. So if we make a habit of telling it positive statements, it accepts them without question. And if we do it often enough, it begins to form a belief system, and that belief system becomes our consciousness, and our consciousness then brings about our experience. That's our teaching in a nutshell. So I find that effective affirmations, and I know you all know about affirmations, but I sometimes hear people do affirmations that are really long and flowery. And what I have found is that the affirmations that are the most effective for me anyway are short, they are easy to remember, and they use language that I can relate to. I mean, somebody could write a beautiful affirmation, but if it's not relevant to me, it's not going to be effective. And then we speak them out loud, almost like a mantra. Because what happens is that we say it out loud. So we're thinking it, we say it out loud, and we also hear it. And it aids in reprogramming our habitual lower base thinking. So if they're short and they're easy to understand, and in language that we can use them at any time. When we wake up in the morning, when we're in the shower, when we're driving, when we're exercising, when we go to bed at night. These affirmations just can keep going and going and going. And what's doing is it's making a groove in our consciousness that becomes a habitual thing. And our subconscious mind then creates it. Here's one more tip that I want to tell you about, is that when you're doing affirmations, you want to make sure that you are affirming what you want, not what you don't want. For instance, I am healthy versus I am not sick. I should have remembered that last week. Yeah. So I thought I would share with you some of my favorites. And again, put in the chat some of the ones you use. But some of my favorites are, I am healthy and strong. Say that out loud. I am healthy and strong. I am loving, lovable, and loved. I am loving, lovable, and loved. I see good everywhere I look. I see good everywhere I look. I live a life of abundance. I live a life of abundance. Say that one again. I live a life of abundance. I attract positive, loving people in my life. I attract loving, positive people in my life. I am happy. I am happy. I am happy. They're so simple. And yet, with saying them with regularity as a habit, just so you just do it. It becomes almost rote, but you keep doing it. They act as a powerful suggestion that's going to help wake us up and create the life that we dream of. And at the same time, once we're waking up and we're creating a life that we dream of, we are also lifting the consciousness of the world around us. Because what happens for me happens for you. We are connected. So I'd like to close with something that it's actually been around for a while, but it just seems just as relevant now as it was back when I first saw it, however long ago it was. It's called the 12 Symptoms of Spiritual Awakening. The 12 symptoms of spiritual awakening, something that we're all striving for. At least I know I am, especially after this last week. So here are the first 6. The symptom of spiritual awakening: an increased tendency to let things happen rather than make things happen. Frequent attacks of smiling. Feelings of being connected with others and nature. Frequent overwhelming episodes of appreciation. A tendency to think and act spontaneously rather than from fears based on past experience. And an unmistakable ability to enjoy every moment. And then it goes on to say, more symptoms: a loss of ability to worry, a loss of interest in conflict, a loss of interest in interpreting the actions of others, a loss of interest in judging others, a loss of interest in judging self. And finally, gaining the ability to love without expecting anything. Gaining the ability to love without expecting anything. How's that for the power of suggestion? I love you. Thank you for being here. It's wonderful to know you're out there. Thank you so much. And please welcome again, Elevation. Thanks, honey.
There's a new church on the horizon, made of a light, not of stone, calling out to all creation, you are not alone. Lions and lambs, saints and sinners, best of friends, enemies, woman and man, losers and winners, they're all a part of me. We are one. Out in the cold, there are faces hidden by the wind and the rain. Hold out your hand, someone will take it to bring you home again. We are one heart, looking for answers. We are one soul, finding our way through the dark. One dream we share together. We are all a part. One heart out in the world tonight. Oh, the fires are burning. Hey, and the tears are falling from the sky. Still the world keeps turning. We are one heart, and we're looking for answers. We are one soul, finding our way through the dark. One dream we share together. We are all one. We are one, and we're looking for answers. We are one soul, finding our way through the dark. One dream we share together. We are all one. We are all one. We are one heart.
Give it up. Amy Bishop, Oliver Miguel, Luis Tavar, and Lisa Jacobs. Elevation. We are elevated for sure. Whew. So now is the time for me to tell you how you can support the center, always by showing up. Always, always, always. Key is letting us know that you're out there. Saying things on the chat. We love it, love it, love it. If you would like to financially support the center, and of course that's very, very important as well, is to send an e-transfer if you're in Canada to office@calgarycsl.org. You can go to the website and pay through our PayPal account. If you're using PayPal, be sure to designate Canadian funds, even if you're in the States. That way it just comes to us in our currency, and it makes it a lot easier bookkeeping-wise. Send a check or call during the week. Kat's here Monday through Thursday from 10 to 3, and give her your credit card. If you want to sign up for a class, give her a call, all that stuff. All roads lead to Kat at the office. So we're going to do our conscious giving affirmation, and then I think let's just do 3 real quick verses of I thank love. I thank love, okay? So let's say our conscious giving affirmation together. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I give returns to me multiplied abundantly. I'm so blessed, and so it is. And let's sing this together.
1, 2, 3, 4. I thank love for everything. 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 thank love for everything. I thank love for everything. I thank love for everything. I thank love for everything.
All righty. So before we do our closing, which we'll do here in just a minute, I need to tell you something. It's really good. So I'm going to be gone the next 2 Sundays. I know it seems like I was just gone, and I was. However, I'm flying to California to see my family. Yay! However, WestJet, in its infinite wisdom, I was supposed to fly out on Monday, and WestJet sent me an email a couple of weeks ago and said, oh, by the way, we've changed your flight to Sunday. So I'm going to take it. What's that Led Zeppelin song? I'm going to California. There we go. I expect you guys to learn that, okay? So anyway, Reverend Marjorie will be speaking next week with Amy as our singer. And the following week, Reverend Leslie will be speaking with Zoe Thurdo. Will be our soloist too. So lots and lots and lots of things to look forward to. Okay, so now we're going to do our final blessing. You ready? So let's rub our hands together. Let's rub our hands together, and what we're going to do is we're going to send out positive juju energy to whoever needs it. Okay? Are you ready? On a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoosh. Have a great week. Love you. I'll miss you, but I'm going to be having fun. Have a good time.
It's the cry of a baby. It's the whisper in prayer. It's voices and laughter. It's the wind in the stillness and the spaces between. It's a spark of fire. It's a seed, a flower. It's a butterfly's wing. It's a call and an answer. It's the breath that's stirring. It's the pulse in my vein. Moves in as and through me. It's our only design.
2, 3.